This is Bold TV.
A lovely morning to each and everyone out there listening and watching us at this time. It's another beautiful Saturday with the beautiful, outstanding ladies with disabilities TV, Bold TV, where we discuss issues as it affects women and girls with disabilities. Today is not an exception. I've got my ladies, we've got a guest, and we've got a topic. Let my ladies introduce themselves. In no particular order, would have the ladies introduce themselves.
Okay, I'll go first. My name is Afion. I'm a medical lab scientist based in New. I'm a member of Bold Heart Initiative, and I'm also a co-host of Bold TV. I use a skill set of spinal cord.
Hello, good morning. I'm Osaki Teresa Georgie. I reside in Port Harcourt, work with Fair Care Foundation, member of Bold Heart Initiative, also a co-host, Polio Warrior. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Shreke Andrew Etienne, based in Port Harcourt in Rivers State, member of Bold Heart Initiative, ED Fair Care Foundation, use a wheelchair from spinal cord injury, co-host on Bold TV. Thanks.
Okay, my name is Charity. I'm a legal practitioner, and I'm listening or doing this video from Benin, Edo State. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Charity is joining us from Edo State, and she is our learned fellow. As if all of us don't go school. She's our learned fellow on this show. My name is Oluwatomisin Adeyefa. I'm based in Abeokuta, Ogun State. I'm a journalist, a gender and disability rights advocate, and I'm a co-host also on Bold TV. And I am your co-host, I'm your anchor, I'm your presenter, your driver, your court clerk on today's edition of the show. So very quickly, the topic we have today is it's a trend that has been going on for a while. It's a conversation that people have been having, people keep having, and they will continue to have, because obviously this particular phenomenon has come to stay. And what are we talking about? We're talking about social media, a technological blessing or curse. It's no news that we all, even as women with disabilities, we make use of the social media. As we speak right now, we are even using social media. So it means that we have also blended into that frame of the digital world, of the digital media. Now, the onus is on us to now, begin to dissect which parts of social media we want for ourselves. Not also forgetting that in every goodness, there is always an element of, some kind of bad. And we need the legal perspective to social media. Recently, a lot of people are beginning to take evidences from social media to say, oh, I'm going to sue you, I'm going to say this, I'm going to the court, I want to do this. And we see that people are getting punished by the law for what they say, did not say, or did not really clear out on social media. And this is a conversation that, you cannot say you are ignorant before the law. Ignorance is not an excuse before the law. So we are doing this to sensitize ourselves so that we know how to use, not to misuse or abuse the social media platforms. So I want to know, ladies, which is your favorite social media platform and why? I'll start with you, Osaki. Which one is your favorite and why? We know we have a lot of them. Just pick one and give us the reason why you love it.
Thank you, Tommy. See, my best social media is YouTube. I like YouTube because it's entertaining, and I could see, and I could read, I could subscribe to. So I think I like the both ways of how YouTube represents social media. The way that it's more it's more like visualizing, like a film or something. So I like the storytelling. It's more practical. That's why I like YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that one. Afyong, which is your favorite social media platform and why?
Personally, I do not have favorites. There was a time, I had a Twitter craze, but I think I've been cured. But the one I use most is WhatsApp, because for me it's functional and just easy to access. So I think that's it. For YouTube, I like it because I'm more of a visual learner. So I like the fact that I can pick up, and they have a lot of educational videos. I can actually access whatever information I need in visual form on that.
Thank you very much. Frankie, which is your favorite and why?
All right, thanks. So I don't have a favorite for social media because I use Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube. The one I refused to go on was TikTok because I don't have power to be dancing every day. So there's no grace for that. I like dance, but I cannot. Sometimes I just go on the road and I just see people that are like, hey, see what TikTok is causing. So I don't have a favorite, but I'm on a lot of them, LinkedIn, Pinterest, but I don't have a favorite. They all have their use for me. Thanks.
Okay. I like the fact that we are talking about the usefulness of this social media platforms. LinkedIn, for instance, is for more official purpose. So if you're looking to grow in your particular career, you're looking for a job, you're looking for official connection, that's one place you need to be. You want to learn on that particular path you've chosen. You want to meet people that are on that same path with you. That's one place to be. And if you want to gist, you want to watch other people's dance and dance yourself, there's another place for you. So I love the fact that all of this have got their own usefulness. And for me, the one that before now I cannot do without visiting, like I must go there, is Facebook. But in like a year now, sometimes in a week, I don't even go on Facebook. I'm usually just replying to messages and chats on WhatsApp. I don't know why, but I think I just lost interest in, a lot of these things. So for you, Charity, which is your favorite and why, if you have any?
For me, I would say I enjoy YouTube more, largely because I get to see what I'm watching. It's educating, it's entertaining. You get to see so many visual displays, so I enjoy YouTube a lot, and I spend a lot of time there.
Okay. Thank you very much for that one. Moving on very quickly, we want to talk about the effect that these social media platforms have had on us. We'll start with the positive effects, and I would want Frankie to lead this one. Osaki would follow, Charity will follow, and Afyong will wrap it all up for us. What is the positive effect this social media platform has had on you?
Okay, so for me, I think one of the positive effects of social media, it has made the global village smaller. The world has become a smaller place. When you think of how people used to get from point A to point B back in the day, just picture how people used to be on the ship for forever to move from continent to continent. And now with social media, you can do that in less than a second and connect to anybody. So for me, one of the positive things about different forms of social media is, number one, it has made the global village a lot smaller. And number two, it has helped people to connect even further than they could ever imagine. Number three, it has brought truths. It has demystified a lot of untruths that people had. For example, a lot of people thought that Africans lived on trees like monkeys. Now they know better. So it has made the world really more open. And another thing is it has made access to learning even easier. So there's a lot of material on the social media, so much so that if you are someone who needs any information, all you need to do is maybe go to YouTube, how to make afang soup, and you become an expert. So it has made learning really easy. And for me, in the area of research, it has made data even more available. So, I mean, I could go on forever, but those are a few. Thanks.
Osaki, are you there?
Yeah, yes, I'm here. Okay. The positiveness of social media. Okay, like what Frankie just said, I think we learn new things. We learn everyday educative information, connection, meet people, and also you can also contribute your own ideas too. I think that's, and also you can even get self-medication from social media too, but you have to do it well, do a good research, and get comments from people before you harm yourself.
Before you say it's social media that asks you to be putting something down there. Okay, so I love the do-it-yourself part. I mean, Freki also mentioned it. If you want to learn how to do anything, just jump on social media and then you're an expert somehow. I also love the fact that you said it helps you also come out to contribute to your own quota. A lot of us cannot be radio presenters, TV broadcasters. We cannot all have newspapers, write books and journals. But you can contribute your own little quota through your social media page. And that's a fantastic one. Charity, do you have something different from what the two ladies here have said about the positive effect of social media for you?
For me, I think it has helped to create some sort of employment, especially for our youth nowadays. People are becoming creative. Things that you never thought could be like a source of income for people are now becoming a source of income. For example, these skit makers, they are making different skits daily, and they are earning just at the comfort of their home. So I think that's one major advantage of social media.
Thank you very much. Making money, employment, especially after the pandemic. I mean, people realize that you don't need to go to an office, you don't need to be at the shop, you don't need to, be somewhere before you can actually earn money. And you also find out that people who are gainfully employed see it as a side hustle, as they call it. Afyong, what's the positive effect of social media platforms for you?
For me, I think the fact that self-development, there are many options out there. The digital space has been possible for a lot of people to be able to upskill and upgrade their knowledge for those who are willing to. And then another thing is also that you can expand your network. You have access to experts in different fields that maybe normally you would not have access to. And you are able to glean knowledge from different people who are more knowledgeable than you in that area.
Oh, right.
So that we don't jump away. We here must be grateful to social media, because if not, we're not going to do
TV.
We would have been looking for studio.
If I imagine somebody is in Port Harcourt, somebody is in studio, in Benin, and I'm here in Abeokuta, and we are here, talking to the world.
We would have been looking for studio. Then we'll be looking for the day we'll go to Tommy's inside. Everybody pay transport. Can record 15 episodes. move to Afia.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, social media has really, really made things easier for a lot of people, including us and other women with disabilities out there. We cannot shy away or overemphasize the usefulness of social media. However, there are always two sides to a coin. You have the head, you have the tail. Now, we've talked about the head of social media. How about the tail of social media? Now, as women with disabilities, I mean, how can you share with us a negative experience you've had on social media? I mean, just one will do for the purpose of this conversation. And I'll start this time with Afyon. A negative experience of social media.
Is it the myriad of scams that you come across every day? Everybody's trying to test your intelligence. And for me, something that happened recently, I think this year, I lost my Facebook account because it was hacked. So that's another negative. Just as people, like Charity said, young people are finding employment. Employment can be good or bad. Some people are employed in a good way. Some, it's bad employment. They are taking advantage of people who may not be tech savvy and, finding a way to scam people out of their hard-earned wealth. So that's a negative side. The exposure, taking advantage, manipulative tendencies that people use, and social media makes it easy so that they can get away with it, and you're left hanging.
All right, thank you. Reminds me of an experience 2 years ago I had through Facebook. So I wanted to get a POS machine, and then I was on Facebook to see an agent who sells, and I met this agent who claims to sell OP POS machine, and I was duped of about 100,000. It happened right here on Facebook. As a matter of fact, the friend who referred me to Facebook got hers from an agent on Facebook. So I felt it was genuine, and yeah, I lost about 100,000 to that one. Frankie, any negative experience from social media?
Okay, so not maybe directly, but I feel that social media has given too many people access that they wouldn't have naturally had. Somebody would just slide into your DM and begin to misyan. But at the same time, I'm very grateful for the block button. It's very empowering. I don't know why people don't use it. I cannot. If I used it this morning, it's very empowering. It's amazing. You are going left, I will just do right, block you, then move on with my life. But that's one of the downsides, is many people have had more access, and you cannot stop who comes to say hi. Fine, you can do some settings where the requests of somebody's wanting to talk to you can choose. But sometimes, because of the work we do, we have to give listening ear. Sometimes the listening ear, you now find out that they just use scam to try to get to you. I think the other one I would say is what they call trolling on social media. Bullying has become a lot more on social media. I mean, you post something, it is your wall. Then somebody will now come and be highlighting for what you posted on your wall. And I'm like, go to your own wall now and go and quarrel. So trolling and cyberbullying is the downside of social media. I don't know, they'll be angry with something else, then now come to your small space that you have created and just be ranting. Sometimes I just think it's attention seeking. Those who have the time. But let me also mention this one. Another one that is very prevalent. Not me, because I don't have time. I've heard that people said social media has really increased the incidences of mental health challenges, where people have. I actually met somebody who said that for a long time she couldn't go to her Facebook wall not because of trolling or anything, she just felt that she kept comparing herself. You know, people put their best self on social media, whether it's true, whether it's not true. So she kept seeing, you know, where her colleagues were. She was now almost, in fact, she was saying she was depressed. But I should go here. This one is this one has 10 children. This one, she said, hey, now only me. So for a while, she had to really work on that before she was able to come back to social media. So I've heard that a downside to that would be how it has affected people's mental health.
Thank you
so
very
the downside
much.
is that people have been lying. They're telling lies, you know, fake lies. so you don't look at social media and kill yourself.
There's what
They're
they
posing
call
behind
social media
the truth.
There's social media age. So your age is quite different. I mean, after you add all those filters and everything, you are looking much younger, and then you are looking more beautiful than your original self. So, I mean, social media lies. Well, it also goes out to say that people should be careful on what they get to believe on social media. Having said that, I want us to move on very quickly. I want to ask our guest. This is directly to our guest. And it amounts from a story I heard. This actually happened where a guy sued this girl to court for a breach of promise. That, oh, you promised to come visit me. I sent you 3K for your transportation, and you promised to come and you did not come. Now, here's a simple analogy. The judge in question actually fined the girl 150,000. And so, since we are in the era of social media, I want us to do a simple analogy. Is social media, I mean, evidence is gathered from social media. Okay, me chatting with Afyong chatting with Osaki, okay, the Bold TV group chat, or any other chat on Facebook, on Instagram, post on Instagram, post on Twitter, you know, what's this thing they call on Twitter? I can't remember the word now. There's a Twitter language they use for tweets. Is it admissible in court? Like, okay, somebody has just, you know, said something to me on social media. Can I bring it to court and a judge would accept to look at it?
Okay, first of all, I want to apologize for the background noise. I'm in a very noisy place at the moment. But that aside, strictly to our topic, when it comes to what is admissible in court, one thing that the court will definitely emphasize on is the relevance of what you are bringing before the court. Is it relevant to the case at hand, and is it authentic? So when we're talking about evidences that are gathered from the internet or social media generally, once it's relevant to the case and it is authentic, then it is admissible before the court. If we look at our Evidence Act of 2011, all these things are stated there. It is stated that computer-generated evidence are admissible before the court. But however, there are certain things that you should consider before bringing those evidence before the court. And one of those things you have to consider is, as at the time the evidence was gathered, or the information or the document that you're bringing from the internet, the court wants to be sure that you're getting it from a source that was working or that is authentic, so that you don't end up incriminating people. For example, now we have cases where people come and say their accounts were hacked. So to save all this unnecessary conviction, the court will ensure that the evidence or the documents or the social media, whatever that you're bringing before the court, at the time the person put whatever is there that you need to tender before the court, we have to know that that computer or that system or that social media was working. It was used to store information. It was used to process information. And when that whatever was posted there, it was working. So basically, when we're talking about evidences, computerly generated evidence before the court, what the court emphasized on is it relevant before the court? Is it authentic? Because the court has enshrined, or the Evidence Act has stated that those evidence are admissible before the courts. Then just to add to the statement you made about promise, we have to understand that when it comes to promises, there are many things that the court looks at. It's not just it looks at the content of the promise and the circumstances that surround the promise that was made. So somebody could be making a promise to you now, and when the court is examining the facts of the case, it is obvious that that was a clear agreement, or it was a clear contract. So in such promises that come before the court will have to judge it. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I'm trying to imagine how many of my exes I need to sue for promising to marry me and not marrying me at the end of the day. That is, by the way, anyway. I want to know, the ladies would also like to know. You've talked about evidences gathered from computer. The court wants to know if it is working at that particular time. Those evidences were gathered before it becomes admissible. But these days, this time, this era, everybody's joking. Everybody plays a lot. In fact, very serious Nigerian issues, when it gets to social media, a lot of watered down comes on it. A lot of play, a lot of joke, a lot of hiding under an anonymous post or anonymous comment or anonymous whatever comes into it. So how then would you ascertain? I mean, if the person comes out to say that I was joking when I actually made this comment, or when I actually made this statement, is that something that would be favored by the law? Since it's a social, don't forget, it's not an official media, it's not a corporate media, it's a social media. Charity, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm with you. Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Okay, so I'm saying that a lot of us joke a lot on social media. We make joking comments. It's fun. It's exciting. We want to catch cruise, as they say it. Now, if this person comes on to say, okay, when I actually, consented, or when I actually made those comments, or when I actually agreed to your terms, I was joking. I mean, is it a fair deal before the court that, okay, since it's a social media, it's not a corporate media, it's not a spirikoko media, it's a social media, would that also fly before the court?
Okay, like I was saying earlier on, when it comes to whether it's social media or it's in a business setting or a corporate setting, when it comes to promises that were made, the court will generally look at the circumstances in which those promises were made. So before a promise can be termed as a contract or an agreement to have the force of law, there are certain things the court will look out for. Number one is we have the offer, or should I say, put simply, we have what we call it's called offer, but an agreement or a promise. I want to promise to do this particular thing so that you can do this other thing. We have promise, we have acceptance, we have consideration, then we have intention to create legal relation. So all the courts will analyze each and every all these items if they were contained in that promise before it can decide, oh yes, you may have thought it was a promise, but no, it had a legal backing. So yes, and then when we're talking about the fact that people play a lot in social media, we have to consider the fact that when it comes to contracts or agreements or promises that we have legal backing before the court will consider when the promise was made to you, did you accept the promise? Did you accept the promise that was said? And if you accepted it, did any of the parties move from the status quo, or did any of the parties move from their original position? For example, now I could, let me try and give a very simple example. For example, I tell you that, I don't have, let me give you a very simple example. For example, I tell you that I want to make soup. And I do not have gari. This is a trade by barter simple agreement. I want to make soup, but I do not have gari to make my soup. And if you promise me that if you can make your soup, I am going to give you gari because I have lots of gari at home. And then I move from the position that I were before, went to the market, get my soup ingredients, made my soup, and then come back to get the gari from you to make my eba. And you're telling me, oh, that was a joke. So the court is looking at all these circumstances. I have moved. I accepted the promise you made to me that you're going to offer me something if I can make something. And I moved to the market. I spent money out of me. So the court will generally emphasize everything that took place, not just I said it out of fun. You understand? Even if you say that things that were said out of fun, when the court examines the facts and everything in that promise or in that agreement, it will rule that yes, this was indeed a promise made out of fun. But when it will look at all the circumstances and see that each party had moved, one party made a promise, the other party accepted the promise, and also moved from his position to doing certain things that will make that promise or that agreement to have a legal backing or binding. You can't now turn around and say that was fun. Although we know certain things that can be funny, like me saying I'm going to lay down my life if you do this for me. That's obviously a joke. But there are certain things that the court will consider, especially the circumstances of the case, the promise itself, the content. When the person was making that promise, they didn't make it with an intention that it would have a legal backing on it. If yes, then the person will go to court and the judge will judge in favor of the other person. Thank you very much.
Lastly, before I let you go, hand you over to the ladies, I don't know if anyone has a question. The use of emojis, I mean, I read somewhere of a farmer that was fined thousands of US dollars because he reacted to a particular offer made on social media with a thumbs up emoji. Now, we all use emoji a lot. Sometimes, usually when I use thumbs up, I'm using thumbs up because maybe I like what the person is doing and I'm like, well done, you know. Now, I don't know. Okay, this happened in Canada. I don't know if Nigeria has, you know, something around that. Is it admissible? Is it something that one needs to go and study the meanings of emojis so that you do not get caught unaware?
For me, definitely. I feel like in as much as the world is moving to, we are becoming more technological by the day, it is, aside the law, it is befitting or it is advisable that you get yourself acquainted with the instruments that you are using. If you're very familiar with Facebook, if you're very familiar with WhatsApp or YouTube, it's good to know the features that are contained in that channel or in that platform that you are using, so that you can get yourself acquitted and so that you don't tend to be saying one thing and mean another thing. And the particular case that you are talking about in Canada, that case is a very interesting case, and it can even be used here in Nigeria. By the time courts are getting acquitted with all these facts and incorporating what is now becoming the modern day life of almost everybody, I think it will be applicable to courts. Courts in Nigeria will start moving towards that direction, to that stuff. And then again, in respect of that particular case, we need to understand that because I hear people talk about the case, a thumbs up is being used. A thumbs up was ruled in the case in Canada, a thumbs up, but people did not understand the facts surrounding that particular case. And if you read the facts of that case, you understand that the farmer himself was negligent, so to say, because the buyer laid before the court, circumstances, like I always say, the court will emphasize on circumstances, surrounding instruments that were present. And when the court looked at the dealings between the farmer and the buyer, it noted the fact that they had been having business transactions for a long period of time. And anytime the farmer would acknowledge contracts that were sent to him, he acknowledged them with our regular, normal, non-official terms like okay, yup, and looks good. So it's because of that consistent pattern of replying. When he sent a thumbs up, it made the other party to assume, to believe that that thumbs up meant acceptance. So this was what the court considered before it gave its ruling. So we have to be careful as we use our social media. We should get acquainted with the features and even the emojis contained, because the law is evolving, and when it evolves to your side and you are not careful, it will catch up with you.
Wow. Somebody said the lady that was fined 150,000 naira for not fulfilling a promise of coming to the guy's house does not have a good lawyer. I'm beginning to imagine if it was Charity that was our lawyer. Okay, now, ladies in the house, I don't know if you have a question for Charity before we round it all up. Very quickly, Osaki, do you have a question? Afion, do you have one? Freki, do you have any question? Okay, go ahead, Afion.
You know, she said, you know, when it comes to authenticating evidence, well, especially with social media, we all know that with social media, there's a lot of manipulation. Somebody can pick, you know, like it's almost like writing a ransom note. Someone will pick something from here, pick something, mix it up, and then present it as something, you know, something that came from one source. And then we have cases of their videos. Personally, I can't tell the difference. They call it deep fake videos, where they find a way to, you know, twist or tweak a video to suit what, you know, the purpose for which they want to present that video. You know, somebody can give a speech and then they find a way to incorporate certain words and then present it to the world, and everybody is screaming. You know, those people that are waiting to comment, everybody like, hey, how can he say that? Meanwhile, somebody will now go and find out that the original video did not include those words. So what does the court have, you know, means by which they can authenticate things like that? Because I've watched, you know, crime movies or dramas or whatever, where if someone brings a video as evidence to the court, that video is given to experts, tech experts, who are able to determine if, you know, that video is original and it hasn't been corrupted in any way. So in Nigeria, do we have such authentication methods, or how? Before somebody will go to jail for saying thumbs up.
Okay, in terms of authenticating documents, there are lots of ways that can be done, but I'll just talk about two for now. And one, like you said, experts. We cannot talk about this enough. Experts are very, very important when it comes to documents, that they can examine if such videos or such pictures are photocopy of, or there's a particular word they call it now, just copy and paste. And also we also have, yes, Photoshop, thank you very much. Then we also have in terms of authenticating documents, for example, now as a lawyer, and I'm trying to show before the courts that at one point in time, this person, let's say party A, insulted me or called me any vulgar words. I'm trying to tender that before the court, and now I'm having like this particular statement was made, let's say in January 20th. And now I want to establish that this particular statement was made by the user of this account. And we are judging the case now this is August. I can tender before the court that give the court list of evidence to show that in February, this account was active when this user posted his trip to Dubai. In March, this account is active when this user posted the birthday picture of her husband or the birthday picture of the wife. In April, this person has been using his computer or his Facebook account or his WhatsApp or his YouTube account. He or she has been using it for a consistent period of time. So you cannot tell me now that a post you made in December, your account was hacked, and you are still posting in January, February, March, April, and you did not do anything to block that account. You did not make any reports. I'm going to tender before the court. Did you make any reports to the police or to any person, anybody that my account was hacked? Or did you make any steps? I feel like in social media platforms, when my account has never been hacked, so I will not perfectly know. But I believe that in social media, when your account is hacked, there are processes you do to rectify it or to verify and to come back again. So I'm going to tender before the court. Did you make any attempts when your account was hacked to do any of this process? If yes, bring it before the court so that we can know that your account was hacked and that vulgar statement that was made was not made by you. So there are different ways this can be proved to show authenticity, or you can call an expert to monitor the video to show us if it was really a photo shoot or photocopy. I really don't know now. So that's it.
All right, thank you very much. That is if you want to claim that, okay, my account was hacked, it was a Photoshop, it's not my head. I hear that they now put other people's head on other people's neck. I don't understand. A lot of confusion. So please, let's be careful. Disability is not an excuse before the law, and that is why we are bringing on this session. Be aware. Things go on social media. Do not be careless. And, when you feel aggrieved or something has been done to your account, please come out. I remember when Afyong's account was hacked then. She posted in almost all the groups that we were mutual members, that our Facebook has been hacked. And so please beware, do not respond to any request for anything. And so if Afyong is facing the court, for instance, she has evidences to prove that at some point or at that time, her Facebook account was hacked. All right, thank you very much. Any other lady with a question before we wrap it all up?
Okay, so I don't have a question, but I have a caution. And that has to do with taking on responsibility. If you want to be in the social media space, you as a person should do some due diligence to your security and protecting yourself. So for example, people on WhatsApp, like anybody on WhatsApp now who has not done two-step verification and on more social media, the question would be why? If you don't want to do it, get out of that place because they will hack your WhatsApp. So due diligence is necessary. So why am I saying this? We get tired. We don't want to read community guidelines. They are very long. They're very tiny. But once in a while, you want to see, and they send all sorts of updates. They are not for sending sake. Just check them out if you want to use those spaces actively. Even email, someone can jack your email and start sending emails on your behalf. That one is even terrible. So if you are using any social media gadgets, because it's digital footprints, so you want to take on the security measures provided and privacy measures provided quite seriously so that it will protect yourself. The other thing I'm going to say is this: for people get carried away by social media. I tell people that social media has a way of creating feelings that don't exist. So I don't care how in love you are, just test that love, please. Test the social media love, please. Let me test that love. Test it well. I know what I'm saying because many have cried in my inbox. Test this love, my sister. Don't be there on social media, you do video call or you do your next show. Then you now go and do physical meeting with your wheelchair. Then the guy say, "Who are you?" They say, "I am here." I'm just saying, that's a whole different conversation. That's a topic by itself. What I'm saying is, take on some responsibility with your security if you find yourself in that space. Thank you.
All right, ladies, thank you so much. Very quickly, in 2-3 minutes, we want to give our parting shot.
So I'll just advise everyone to be careful. Be mindful of what you're posting out there and know what you're posting. And it doesn't take anything to seek clarity. Maybe you're chatting with somebody and the person is saying something else. and you're assuming, okay, this is what he means. He means that we should go on it, we should do this or we should do that, or means that there's a contract involved. So just clarify, excuse me, can you come again? Are we can we make this binding and stuff like that? Then if you're somebody that has you have a business and you use social media as your business, you should know when to be serious. There's a client in your DM, he wants to purchase something, wants to purchase your service or your goods or whatever, and you should know when to be professional. And also be very, very careful. Social media is accessed by almost everybody. So you have to be very careful and know what you are sending. If you're sending an emoji, know what it means. If you are sending a word, some people use certain words and they don't even know the meaning of the words that they are using. After sending it, they go to the dictionary, they check it, and they realize that, oh, this is what it meant. So ordinary simple words, meaning of words, go to your dictionary. Dictionary is your friend. Google is your friend. Google that word. Google that emoji. Google whatever it is to be Googled. Just Google it and know what you are doing. Know what you are sending out there. The information you are giving out there. Know what it is. The information you are receiving. Know what it is by clarifying what the other person is saying. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. My passing shot is addiction is real. People get addicted. Social media addiction is one of the worst addictions so far, that a lot of things you forget to do. You will not study, you will not make research because you are addicted that you must check your social media. That's anything important to just want to look at people's comments, people's picture. Is that you're going to smile or you're going to be sad? When people get that depression, it's because they get addicted. So sometimes off your phone, relax, rest, enjoy the free air, and once in a while, take your time. Not every now and then social media. So addiction is real.
All right, thank you very much. So my parting shot would be this with respect to social media. I have to. The first one is people have been very liberal with providing information that they killed them because they knew where they were going to be. There's been cases where they kept tagging themselves, hanging and chilling with this, and people went there and ended their lives. So be careful with the information that you put out there, especially them celebs. Be careful with the information you put out there. And then the other thing that I'm going to say with respect to social media, that space there, is not necessarily addiction, but don't be a peddler of fake news. Don't be a peddler. You are not a forwarder. That's not your job description. You can verify the information before you forward. Just do some small due diligence, because it's not hard. You see, there's no work like that. So it's not hard for someone to sit in their space, develop one looking authentic news, and then the person say make it go viral. Then you, that is mode where will now make it go viral. So do not be a peddler of fake news. Fake news has caused enough problem. So don't be an instrument of fake news just because information has become very cheap. Thank you.
Every social media platform is like a jungle. So if they identify which animal you are in that jungle, they are predators, they are prey. Identify which one you are. If you are not tech savvy, you've never been on social media, you're starting out, I would advise you get help. Don't just assume that because I have a smartphone and I know how to access that platform automatically, I know what to do, I can navigate it. Go to someone someone you trust, who has used that platform over time, and gain the benefit of experience, so that the pitfalls that person may have experienced, you will not experience them. Get help on how to navigate. Ask them, what do I do? Is this something I can put up there? Is this something I should respond to? Or in some cases, just walk away, because everybody brings their problems to social media. So know what to avoid, know when to engage, and like we've said, due diligence.
Thank you very much, Affion, for that one. Doing our due diligence, making research, asking questions. There is no crime in you asking for clarity, as it is. Social media, you do not want to be caught up in the negativity of it all. You want to be on the positive side, then be prepared to be in that space and do your due diligence. Having said that, we've come to the end of the program today. Such an amazing, packed conversation with the ladies and our guest, Charity. Thank you for being on the program. Special thank you goes to our viewers, our listeners, our lovers, our fans out there, making it a date every Saturday of the week. I mean, going on our Facebook, on our YouTube pages, liking, commenting, sharing, and giving us feedback. We love you, and we especially thank you for the opportunity to be in your space, to be on your social media. Thank you so much. Make it a date with us again next week when we shall have another co-host, and we'll have a fresh topic, bringing it to you on Saturday by 10:30 a.m. I remain Oluwatomi Adeyefa, and I urge the ladies to unmute their mics and say bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Take care of you. Stay safe on the socials. Be safe.
This is Bold